Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So wait,
So I heard,
Garrett.
I'll take anything that goes out on the
Yeah.
internet.
Wondering if I should hold on to it. Maybe there's just, yeah, I don't know, what you don't have much experience with that. But I'll move them on and see what yeah, I think that given that, provided there's no like crazy incident happens. After the storm, pretty much it's good. Yeah. I think so. I'm not terribly and package that for you and send it to you. Perfect. See how it goes.
Well, we still need one more person though.
Yeah.
Who else?
We're waiting
Garrett.
on Garrett.
We know Steven's gonna be here.
Steven is
Steven is
not,
not.
Brenda is not, Felicia is not.
Oh,
So
interesting.
we have to have Garrett, but you talked to Garrett?
I did not hear back from Garrett. I just printed him an agenda. I emailed and texted and
And he never responded to any text?
he sent an email even asking for an inspection. And I said, cool, are you coming to the meeting?
Well, that would be a bit of a letdown.
Maybe a short afternoon.
Yeah. Be able to get my kids after all.
Hey Garrett, it's Nicole. I was checking to see if you were coming to our P and Z meeting. That's okay. That's all right. Are you in town? No, we need you to come to be here to have a forum. We've got enough other people missing that we were counting on you. No worries. Okay, sounds great.
I'll be there.
Okay, we'll see you in a few. He's on his way. Sorry, guys.
Right.
Okay.
Bill, did you get that pulled up or do you want to print it from me?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're all getting your meeting desk built.
Yeah, I think it'll have a bunch of technology built into it and stuff too, so it'll be very nice.
Be encouraged.
So this is a.
Probably.
Um,
I think with like different, like a better
inbox.
setup for city secretary.
Yes, it's read by all files. It'll tell you if it's coming from VRBO or Airbnb.
You look quite dressed up today.
Since I.
I have
since I
a
spoke to the-
wild game dinner presentation
Airbnb in
in
particular.
Corpus after this, so.
So you had to
I'm
Be real close.
probably not gonna be able to change in between.
Right.
Take I copied you on.
Started
Months ago?
under their
Weeks ago.
safety
Um,
policy they gave her.
it was directed to.
Brandon.
Because
So.
my ex-wife's
the
approval
approval
next door
of that
still had the original color from 6 years
Person
ago.
those
And that also works.
They built
So people let themselves in.
roadway in. And it teased
And
the
then I had to ask them to leave. Didn't need to do it. Some of the house owner, she said it was fine, it was perfect.
Okay.
So then she.
We haven't approved, we haven't gone out and looked at that infrastructure yet or approved any of that. I would expect that that's gonna be in the next couple of weeks.
Know this.
Yeah.
Because they submitted an amendment to the plat just for.
Wow.
So
No, I thought y'all wanted me here.
Well, we do, but we wouldn't have pressured you so hard, is what I'm saying.
All right.
But we can't get Brenda back from Vegas, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a little tougher. stretch.
Probably don't want to
Yeah.
zoom in on that either.
On a plane.
All right, are you ready?
Hang on just a second, let's make sure she's running. Are you live? Live on YouTube too? All right,
I will call to order a meeting of the Port Aransas Planning and Zoning Commission Thursday, January 22nd at 3:12 p.m. Item 2, citizen comments and reports. At this time, comments will be taken from the audience on any subject matter. Please limit comments to 3 minutes in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. The Planning and Zoning Commission may not discuss or take action on any item that has not been posted on the agenda. No citizen comments. Okay, item 3, items for consideration. Item 3.1, discuss and take action on meeting minutes from Planning and Zoning Commission meeting on June 26, 2025.
so these minutes, we just never really officially approved, going all the way back. At a couple of meetings that we had, they weren't attached to the agenda, so we're just bringing them all here to get the approval.
Okay,
Should be pretty easy for all of them.
all right. You have any questions over the meeting minutes from June? Can I invite a motion?
I move the minutes from the previous meetings that have not been approved, be approved.
We have a motion from Bill Strieber,
I'll second.
a second from Gary Kipke.
Is this gonna be just for June or all of them?
Do,
We have to go through this for everyone.
Okay,
Right.
so for June,
Okay, so Richard K,
abstain.
you're good, that's fine.
William Straver,
Do I have to?
Yes.
She was just worried about a
Garrett
quorum.
Kipke,
Yes.
and Mike Dan.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, item,
Motion carries.
It can, so motion can carry on a situation like this because you've got a quorum here, voting 3 is a positive vote, so you're good.
all right, item 3.2, discuss and take action on meeting minutes from the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting on July 24th, 2025.
So on that one, I do make a motion to approve the minutes.
We have a
from
motion from Richard Kay,
July-
Second.
a second from Garrett Kipke.
Will Straver,
Yes.
Richard K,
Yes,
Garrett Kipke,
Yes.
Mike Dan.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 3.3, discuss and take action on meeting minutes from the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting on August 28th, 2025.
make a motion to approve the minutes from August 28th, 2025.
A motion from Richard Kay,
I'll second.
second from Garrett Kipke.
Garrett Kipke,
Yes.
Bill Straver,
Yes.
Richard K,
Yes,
Mike Dan.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, item 3.4, discuss and take action on meeting minutes from the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting on November 20th, 2025.
It's the last one, it should bring us up to date, guys.
motion to approve the minutes from November 2025.
A motion from Richard Kay,
Second.
second from Bill Strieber.
Richard K,
Yes,
Will Straver,
Yes.
Garrett Kipke,
Yes.
Mike Dan.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 3.5, discuss and take appropriate action to confirm that the beachfront dune protection permit plan 25-43 is consistent with the city's coastal management plan. The applicant is proposing construction of a single-family private residence and driveway. Applicant MDW Financial Limited, property location 3014 on the beach.
So for reference, this is right next to Sand Dollar City on the beach, so. You know, about halfway down, closer to the 1A side than Avenue G. Course falls completely within our dune protection area, so it needs a dune permit. This dune permit also includes a driveway cut because there's no current access. I'll invite Chloe to come up and present this dune permit since she made the trek all the way out here.
All righty.
Chloe is the applicant engineer from Urban, DCCM.
This dune permit has some impacts and mitigation proposed. We meet the mitigation on a one-to-one basis for cubic yards and square footage. So we'll be building 2 mitigation dunes on either side of the proposed driveway. They'll be 100% revegetated. The construction plan includes a septic system and water well, which we've shown the approximate locations for those. Those have to be on opposite sides of the property to get the appropriate separation per TCQ. We've proposed the driveway with a vertical curve to try to keep as much of the dune material there as possible. And we've designed it so that a fire truck can access the site as well. So if y'all have any questions on it, I can take those.
I guess I saw where there was one question that the Hanover had where,
Hanson,
Hanson, I'm sorry.
they fixed that.
They fixed that in
Mhm.
that second submission.
I did get a letter. I apologize. I didn't print it out this morning, but I did ask them for their final approval letter. They're completely fine with the revision that you see here in the packet.
Okay, all right. That was my question.
Yeah, since you mentioned fire truck, how does the fire truck get in and out? I see the driveway, but
They can pull straight up and then they'll just revert
Back
straight
straight up.
back.
And that meets the guidelines for the hose lay versus the length that you're allowed to travel.
okay. Is that 300 feet or what is that?
Any other questions?
Um,
Can I invite a motion?
Move that this proposal be approved.
We have a motion from Bill Strieber
Oh, second.
and a second from Richard Kay.
Eric Hickey,
Yes.
Straver,
Yes.
Richard Kick,
Yes.
McDevitt,
Yes.
motion carries.
Feel free to stay, but if you don't want to, it will not hurt our feelings.
Item 3.6, discuss and take appropriate action, confirm that beachfront dune protection permit plan 26-2 is consistent with the city's coastal management plan. The applicant is proposing to hand plant native dune vegetation harvested from outside the dune protection area. Applicant is Sherry Parish, property location adjacent to 820 Seabreeze Lane.
So this started out much differently than it ended up. So this was back in February of last year. I get a phone call from the Pelican condominium saying that they have heavy machinery in the dunes and are mowing. So we go out there. Wasn't quite as bad as they made it sound on the phone, but they did have machinery, which is in violation of our coastal management plan. So that was stopped, reported to GLO because it was on their property. We had lots and lots of discussions and emails with the property owner who was really just hating the sunflowers that have populated there. And if you guys take a look at the screen here, what I'm going to do is kind of go back in history and show you the issue here at this location. So it looks like, find it good. So back in 2009, this area was used for what we call backstacking for seaweed events. And what they would do is cut out an area behind the dunes, bring all the seaweed back there, and let that kind of remound and revegetate. It was an approved practice that the city had with a dune permit, you know, that was all in compliance with GLO and our coastal management plan. So we did nothing wrong by doing this. But anytime you disturb that and you aren't very careful with your revegetation, sunflowers tend to grow. So in all the areas that we do any kind of stacking, any kind of activity like that, they get a lot of sunflowers. So you'll see over the next few years, as this fills back in, you can see all the seaweed in that picture. So there were some pretty big seaweed events back then. Continues to grow, and then mostly sunflowers take over this area, which is technically not native dune vegetation, but not as bad as pepper trees or something in that situation. So she was just trying to remove the sunflowers from the beach. She's a I don't know if she's a master naturalist, but she is a plant aficionado, knows more about biology and dune vegetation than I think I will ever know. So
Is she an owner?
she owns that house that's right there. She went through the dune permitting process to get her dune permit, so I mean, she's familiar with everything. She didn't think that what she was doing was in violation, so we explained that to her, educated her. She approached the GLO because this is GLO property. She got a land lease. So she got the right to access the GLO property to take out these sunflowers because they appreciate that going away too. So she has a lease for the GLO property and the ability to remove all of those sunflowers by hand. She thinks that the sunflowers are just going to start growing back. And in order to prevent the massive amount of work that she has done over the last, since last April, when she began removing the sunflowers, she wants to replant native vegetation. Well, in order to do that, you technically need a dune permit to do that. So we talked to the GLO and worked out a situation where we could do kind of a abbreviated dune permit for it. So she wouldn't have to hire an engineer for all the technical topography. They were okay with this. They haven't seen this final version that you guys have in your packet today, but I think that this kind of falls in line with exactly what they were expecting. So I helped her put this together. And she's just asking to replant in that area.
Where is that exactly?
So do you know where Seabreeze is? Let me back out a little bit. You guys can see. So this is Avenue G right up here.
Oh, okay.
Seabreeze Lane goes out to 11th Street, but it's also Miramar.
Okay.
Runs in that circle here. So Seabreeze comes out here, but it also comes out here on Avenue G. So
Gotcha.
kind of across the street from Ocean View in that area. She has plan and approvals from all of her local adjacent property owners that are outside of the dune protection area to harvest dune vegetation. She names a lot of things that I'm not familiar with. I am familiar with cordgrass, blue stem, those kind of things that she's pulling out and starting to plant. She just needs an official approval.
Wow. That's
So this is an opposite of a dune permit that we normally see where nobody wants to
What an
impact
effort.
anything. She just wants to make it better.
Yeah. What an effort.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
and I can't even imagine how much money she spent doing this thus far. So, I mean, she's got people out there nearly every day from April until now, hand pulling those. And the pictures that I took, I actually took this morning, so you can see the massive amount of area that's cleared there.
I guess the pepper trees are scared of her too. so.
She found one pepper tree and she got that out of there too. But yeah, didn't start out as a very friendly situation. It now is a very friendly situation.
I make a motion, we approve.
Yep.
I see nothing wrong with that.
You have a
Yeah,
motion from Bill Streeter
I'll second that.
and a second from Garrett Kipke.
Richard K.
Yes.
William Straber,
Yes.
Garrett Kipke,
Yes.
Mike Dan,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right. Item 3.7, discussion and possible action regarding potential amendments to the City of Port Aransas mobile food vendor ordinances in response to Texas House Bill 2844 Food Truck Freedom Bill.
So this bill, Bill 2844, was introduced this past legislative session, and the first version of it was really a nightmare, where they were just going to allow food trucks in any city street. Cities weren't going to be able to regulate them at all. Everybody worked together kind of with that bill writer to change that up a little bit to still allow some regulation, but to still keep kind of the spirit of the bill that he was writing. And so it was Landgraf. He was in an area where, and I think they were probably friends of his that had a food truck in the Midland, Odessa area. And for every little city or county they went to, they had to get different permits, different health permits, different fire permits, different, regular business permits. And it was just becoming a very expensive thing just to, travel 5 miles or 10 miles in a different direction. So they came up with a bill that basically takes the health and fire permits for things and makes it state approval. So food trucks are now only going to have to get their health department certification and fire certification from the state, once a year to do that, where they won't have to get them in total from cities.
Excuse me.
in the bill is also written that cities, basically it preempts us from prohibiting them at all.
Right.
From tying them to any restaurant location, forcing them to have any kind of commissary agreement if their truck can handle everything. So because this bill takes effect on July 1st, we really need to kind of get the ball rolling on writing some regulations. Currently, the city does not really allow food trucks in any major way, except for the exception when a restaurant is serving something on that same property, they can have a food truck that serves the exact same thing. So this bill preempts us from doing that. We cannot regulate in that way. So if we don't write any regulations come July 1st, it's gonna kind of be open season. So we really need to start looking at regulations. Took this to city council. They directed it to come back to P and Z and for us to work through the process of writing an ordinance and getting it back to them fairly quickly. So because we have 3 readings and this goes into effect July 1st, we really need to get council an ordinance on their agenda in April. So we have a April, May, June reading, and we'll be ready to go by July 1st. They have indicated that if we need to take a little bit more time, or if we can't get it done that quickly, that they could schedule a special meeting in between some of those later meetings so that we can still get it done in time. But I would like to get an ordinance back to them by April, which means we need an ordinance back to you guys for approval in March.
And so,
We have February to write it.
February.
so we as the city have the ability to put these in specific zones, correct?
Absolutely, yep. So all of our zoning, kind of everything that we're allowed to do as far as restaurants are concerned, or as far as other businesses, how we regulate them, we can still regulate these food trucks. In the bill that's included in your packet, it lists all the things that the state can't regulate. And by default, because of the language in the ordinance, we can't regulate those same things. So the same things that the state's not allowed to tell people, background checks, GPS devices. I guess some cities had GPS devices on their food trucks so they knew where they were.
Wow.
They, 86 to a lot of that. So there's still a lot of, reasonable regulations that we can put in place. We just need to sit down and figure out how to do that.
So back it all the way up. If we're gonna go through this process. What is the city's issue with food trucks? What is the major cause or major issue that the city would want to regulate with a food truck?
I think anytime you have a business that you're regulating in town, you have to be specific on why you're putting certain rules in place. So for me, like for a restaurant, we regulate heavily on the parking, the required parking that they have, kind of the neatness of everything. So I would think that we would want to regulate food trucks in that same way. So any problems that we could foresee with food trucks, parking issues, traffic, noise, trash, all of those things, we would definitely want to, put in some regulations about.
Saw in the state regs that there's a provision that a city can contract, I think if I'm
Correct.
with the state
And I think that's
for
to
inspection.
kind of take away some of the strain on state systems that I think are probably already strained, and now to take and make them do all of the food truck things. I think that cities that have health departments can say, hey, let's partner with you and we'll do the state mandated inspection for you. So a city like that would still be able to do their own inspections for their food trucks, but if a food truck already had an inspection and a certification from somewhere else and they came, they would still be allowed to process.
Yeah.
I have not been in contact in the last month or so with the county health department in Corpus, is who handles all of our health issues right now, because obviously we're too small to have a health department of our own. So I don't know if they're planning on partnering with the state to do that. It would probably be smart of them to,
I mean,
but we're
it would allow
totally.
them to hire more inspectors and without having to raise the taxes to pay for it. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
stranger
that's,
decisions have been
it's
made.
totally their decision. We don't really have much input on that.
Okay, you answered my question. I thought I was gonna ask if the city had any.
We'll definitely, once we kind of get the ball rolling on ours, we'll talk to them again and see what their plan was. The last time we talked to them, they really hadn't made a decision yet.
Were you thinking that this would be, the approach would be similar to the sign,
That's exactly what I was
where we
thinking.
can establish a committee and allow people from the community perhaps.
I
on
think
that
that's
committee.
the best idea. So I think we should, you know, grab a couple of key stakeholders. I've got some people in mind that have reached out to us previously about food trucks that are Port Aransas locals, which is helpful, I think.
Yeah.
I would love to find somebody, and I just don't know enough people personally that has run successful food truck operations.
I think John has some interesting experience in doing so.
He was,
Very
you
much
know, the top 3 on my list of people to call and invite. But I would like to find somebody that's kind of outside of the Port Aransas to tell us maybe some issues that we're not thinking about as well.
Okay,
So I've got John on my list. I've got another man in town here on my list. Open to suggestions for anybody else. But then, of course, we'll, you know, it's an open meeting, so the general public is invited as well.
okay.
So
So,
I need to talk about some dates.
okay,
The mayor actually came and approached me, and her mayor's youth council, she was interested in bringing them and kind of letting them see that process. So they might come to a workshop or 2 of ours.
Are these what, high schoolers?
They are.
Yeah.
So she's got 13 high school kids on her youth council
Yeah.
that are all top-notch students that are, you know, they've really been interested. I think will be a little boring to them. Last month they got to go up on a fire truck.
Oh,
So, you know, it's gonna be a snooze fest here with us,
Right.
but I think it'll be okay. So, because we are on such a short time frame, I was hoping we could have just 2 workshop meetings.
Okay.
And then, maybe even use our next P and Z meeting as one of those workshop meetings.
okay.
So my suggestion was the 5th of February.
I will be out,
Okay. When are you out?
from the 3rd until the 7th of February. Outside of that, I can make anything work, as long as it's not on a weekend.
No worries. So our regular February meeting is February 26th. So I think we just call that our second workshop meeting.
Okay,
And then how about the 12th?
I'm good.
12th of February or 12th?
12th of February.
I'm the opposite. I'm gone that week, but
Oh,
I'm
no.
here to
It
be.
needs to be a Thursday, so we could
Yeah.
do it on the 2nd or the 9th. When are you out of town, Richard?
The 11th through the 15th.
How about the 9th or 10th?
I can do the 9th.
The Monday or Tuesday?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, so let's, I have to verify that this room is available. I would imagine that it is. But how about we just count on the 9th of February and then the 26th of
Okay.
February? So in the meantime, what I'm gonna do is start collecting some ordinances from maybe some local communities that have food trucks and maybe something a little bit further into Texas, a bigger city.
Yeah.
So I'll send those to you guys via email, just so you can review and so we can come on the 9th with kind of a thought.
And would that be the one where we have people from the community that
I
would
think
be
both.
both? Okay.
Yeah.
And so what we meet about, what we talk about with regard to regulation to the density or how many are gonna be able to be in one area and have like parking available and all that, that doesn't pertain at all to the county park, does it?
So the county beach.
Right,
So the county portion of the beach and the city portion of the beach are 2 differently regulated things.
Right.
So the city's coastal management plan regulates the city beach. That's from about Lantana south. The county beach is from Lantana to the jetties. So the county beach is regulated differently and they don't have the same non-commercial activity that we have. So they already allow food trucks. This summer they had a beverage truck and a pizza truck all summer long. We can't regulate that at all. We don't allow any commercial activity. I'm sure you guys, some of you remember if you were here when it went up for a citizen-wide vote and it was voted down that we definitely did not want to continue to allow any commercial activity. So that we can still regulate. We can still say our coastal management plan does not allow commercial activity. Our city ordinances don't allow commercial activity that's not zoned for food trucks, the same way that it's not zoned for restaurants or not zoned for, you know, other businesses.
right, but
Right now, it's not zoned for that, and so we don't have to. We're confident that we can keep that off the beach.
could you get Possibly whenever you're gathering information, what the county says about their food truck regulations on the
Yeah,
beach.
and when you say,
Because
get what they say about it, like get their regulations or get
Right.
their opinions.
their regulations. And the only reason I say that is just because I feel like if there's a overabundance or a high population of food trucks in town,
Mhm.
then, they may gravitate towards that area of the beach or something like that. And it would kind of be a shame to have all that trash and
Oh, yeah.
activity right there on the
I think
beach,
city council
So,
would be adamant in not allowing that.
right.
To continue to keep our beaches,
Are you talking about the county?
Right,
Specifically,
right,
are
like
you
they
trying to-
would,
I think that right now the county only allows one vendor and that vendor has the ability to sublet out food.
okay,
Okay.
I
gotcha.
think that
Okay,
that's how it's
okay.
set.
So,
which
so
is-
it's
So
not
it's not
like,
the Wild West.
right, so it's
It's
not
not.
like if there was 25
No,
taco trucks in town, they'd be like, let's go to the park.
no, I think they're pretty regulated. You can't just show up and be there. Like they've got a contract, kind of how we do with our concessionaire that sells the
Mhm.
beach. I think
Right.
they've got a year-long contract with somebody every
Right.
time, but I'll get that for sure from them.
That's part of the regulatory approval that the city will have is we can designate areas.
Absolutely, right.
Where it's okay in zoning, for
Yeah,
lack of a better term.
We briefly talked about it at council. We talked about, that it makes probably the most sense to zone them the same way you would zone a restaurant. So a C1 or a C2, TR2, TR3 allows it in some limited capacity, but I'll put all of those regulations together.
Is this gonna? I'm curious. So would there be able to be, I'll say like in other towns and places that are growing, like they'll have, food trucks that roll around to construction sites and things like this. Is that gonna be a possibility with the new regulations too?
I mean, are you asking if we want to make it a possibility or?
No, I guess part of what I'm saying is if it's a roving deal,
So
does it make sense?
we can regulate that in the way that we want to regulate that. So
Right.
if they, they don't have to come get a health permit or a fire inspection from us, but we can still make them get a operating permit. So
Sure,
they would have to come
sure.
in, prove that they meet all of these regulations that we're gonna come up with. So it's not like they can just jump from parking lot to parking lot whenever they want.
Yeah, so I think, what I was talking about is say like in San Antonio, Austin, Houston, bigger towns, like there's trucks and stuff that will go around specifically to job sites and things like this and serve breakfast and lunch and things to people that are working there.
Like ice cream trucks. but like-
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Taco-
We used to call it the roach coach.
Yeah.
So they have that ability to do that, you know what I mean? And so I'm just curious. I'm not even saying that's a bad thing. I'm just curious.
So these rules wouldn't supersede anything that's established within the confines of like a nut or anything in an HOA. Or-
Right.
Okay, so they could still prohibit food trucks. Obviously, the primary
Yeah.
place I'm thinking of, Cinnamon Shore, where, there's enough congestion there already. If you have a food truck on every corner, it'll be a nightmare.
Right, and so they have food truck regulations written into all of their PUDs, so
Right.
their rules apply.
Okay.
So if,
They
Whatever.
govern themselves.
yeah, they're basically like their own little city with their own set of rules, and if their rules
Okay.
are more restrictive than ours, then
Right.
so be it.
Okay,
Yeah.
So the kind of mobile vending that you're talking about would really have people vending on a city street, which I think we would try to avoid.
Mm-hmm.
Because how would you regulate them going? Well, you can go to a construction site, but you can't go to 11th Street
Right. I just thought there might be a little gray area there we might
Yeah.
need to talk about.
to talk about all of those things
Yeah.
and really try to nail it down cleanly, because I think anybody will find any gap in any regulation that we have and try to take advantage of it.
Sure. I don't think it's a bad thing though. A lot of those people, those food trucks that are over there at like the Farley Boat Work shows and all that stuff. And some of them are really good.
The Woody's Last Stand, they've got
Yeah.
a kind of a small permanent structure, but there's room for two or three others. I'm sure they would
Mhm.
enjoy having
Yeah,
more,
for sure.
Yeah.
more there.
Yeah, more pedestrian traffic and all that. I mean, that's
Definitely think.
It'd be nice to have more options in the summertime.
No doubt.
absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you can't get lunch around this town
Yeah.
in
I-
the summertime sometimes,
Trust
you
me, I
know, so.
eat at my house every day.
Yeah.
I do too. It's probably not a bad thing, but.
But yeah, I think it'll be nice. So kind of homework between now and February 9th is think about how you would want to see food trucks in town. Think about what makes sense. Even scout out locations, like Woody's Last Stand. The Clerks have some vacant property. Think about not,
Maybe talk to some of our neighbors and, different types of neighbors, people that are in business, people that are retired, people that are in the restaurant business.
Yeah.
That's what I'll try to do.
yeah, the paper did a pretty good story. I'm gonna ask them nicely to do another story talking about the workshop meeting that we're gonna have so that I know it's not always fun to have a lot of voices, but I think you get the best product when you do.
Can a mobile food truck have pin flags and all kinds of signs all over?
They would have to meet our current sign regulation. Have you guys seen it around town? It looks pretty nice.
Yeah,
It does.
Bar,
I
yes.
told
I
Sam
like
when we were
the new
driving.
signs that you're putting up too. The golf cart.
So the
signs.
golf cart signs, yeah, those are
Well,
pretty neat.
we've put up, we've put up a lot of signs. They put up about 40 this round, including 19 of those golf cart signs. And you'll see them over the next few months going up. That's a project that's gotten on my last nerve, but it's nice to kind of see it
Yeah,
together.
I really feel like we're at like a destination.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
seeing all
you
the
guys- I mean,
signs.
Some of the signs that are going up soon, the Roberts Point Park sign is gonna be gorgeous with just a beautiful like board that has information on it. One at City Hall is gonna be really nice. We're gonna start seeing them on poles, directing people where to go in town.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's, you've only seen like scratch the surface of the signs. If you haven't been to the beach, new regulatory signs went up at every location.
Oh,
They look really nice too.
great.
So some of that other signage will start to come down before summer. So it'll really clean up nicely. That was the goal.
Cool.
Well
Cool.
done.
All right,
Alright.
so February 9th, February 26th. You guys have a little bit of homework.
Okay, and no motion necessary on that.
Nope.
All right. Any further discussion? I guess we'll, anything for future consideration?
I think we got enough.
All right. We'll adjourn the meeting of the Port Aransas Planning and Zoning Committee at 3:44 on January 22nd.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
For bailing us out. There.
Sorry, I kept y'all waiting.
Oh, you're fine.